Welcome to the Veroscope analysis of Brian Walsh today. We're continuing with the trial, and we're going to be analysing in particular, using FBI-style forensic linguistics analysis, one of his Google searches. The search was, this is Brian Walsh's own Google search, is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them? And we're going to be analysing this in forensic linguistic detail. What's particularly interesting to this case, if you've also been following the Karen Reed trial, is that the same prosecutors and the same detectives that were involved in this Karen Reed trial were also involved in the Brian Walsh case. So we have Tully, we have Proctor, and the same team that did the telephone forensics. Isn't that interesting? So will Proctor be called to the stand? This is one of the rumors which is circulating the Brian Walsh trial. In the meantime, let's hear from one of that team in Massachusetts, Trooper Nicholas Garino, who is going to tell us what was on Brian Walsh's telephone, and we're going to listen to him for 2 or 3 minutes so that we hear it from the horse's mouth as to what we're going to be analysing today.
You said the title? Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry, the title.
What does bleach do to dead bodies? Google search.
What is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 12:10:07 p.m.
What is the title on page 647, record 2351?
Want to get away with murder? ? Use special detergent / Discover magazine.
And what is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 12:18:03 p.m.
What is the title on page 650, record 2364?
Is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them? Google search.
And what is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 12:21:39 p.m.
So there we have it. Let's now analyse what was said in the same style that the FBI use in their behavioral analysis unit. So it's the statement analysis or forensic linguistic intelligence analysis that we'll be doing just on this one sentence. And we're going to see what we can discover by going deep today. So at 12:21 p.m. on January the 1st, 7 hours and 29 minutes after Brian Walsh first searched best ways to dispose of a body, he typed this 11-word question into Google. Is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them? Has he given himself away? This single sentence, read by Massachusetts State Police Trooper Nicholas Garino from a 3/4-inch white binder, and you've just seen him do it, during trial testimony, contains sufficient linguistic and contextual information to reconstruct the entire timeline, mental state, and consciousness framework of the person who typed it. So if you're new to Veroscope, most days we do an analysis of a crime or a trial, and we use forensic linguistics, and we discover so many clues which at first might go over our heads just from the words. And the advantage of learning statement analysis is that it connects your gut feeling to what you're hearing. So for years we've gone through life, haven't we? We've always had a gut feeling, and most of the time we listened to it, and some of the time we didn't, and it's the times that we didn't very often that we regret. And so statement analysis pulls in the evidence which your gut is hearing, and it brings it into your conscious mind. And what that means is you're far less likely to be deceived by anybody. You'll spot lies and deception far more quickly, and you'll connect your gut feel to it. So that's what we're doing every day. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do. And we'll be going through the Brian Walsh trial as the evidence arrives. So Peter Hyatt, one of my favorite guys, this is the sort of thing that Peter would find in so few words, and that's what we're going to be learning. So what makes this search forensically devastating? The question itself is linguistically impossible to produce from a consciousness of innocence experiencing unexpected discovery. Every word choice, every structural element, every conspicuous absence points to a mind already operating within a concealment framework, with forensic awareness, criminal terminology, and evidence optimization goals. So I think this single sentence, is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them? In my eyes, in my view, shows evidence that Brian Walsh knows it's a crime scene. He's not in a panic. And I think this is evidence that because at the unconscious level, Brian Walsh knows that this is a crime scene that he's clearing up, it shows consciousness of guilt. So let's go into the detail and see how I came to that conclusion. Let's go through a word-by-word deconstruction. Is. This was the first word. Present tense inquiry. Not was it better, past reflection, or would it be better, but is. The decision is being made now, in real time. It indicates immediacy of need for answer. Crisis is current, not past or hypothetical. So, is sets the scene. It avoids naming the specific action directly. It creates linguistic distance between the searcher and the action. He's unable to directly state is throwing away or is washing. The it creates the psychological buffer. Better. Seeks optimization, not permission. Critical analysis. Not safer or smarter or legal or right. Better is subjective. It's quantitative. It's judgment revealing. Cost-benefit analysis framework. The forensic significance indicates two bad options are being weighed, seeking the lesser evil. Both options are acceptable in his mind, just one is better. 2. Infinite marker indicates intentionality, not if I throw away, but to throw away. Grammatically commits to the future action. It's the language of intention, not contemplation. Throw away. Deliberate, irreversible action. The alternative phrasing not used, dispose of, more formal, get rid of, casual, discard, neutral. Throw away. It's going to throw away the clothes. Throw away is instinctive, urgent language. It's suggesting desire for distance between self and the object. It implies permanent removal. It's get it away from me type of language. Crime scene. This is the discovery. And it was actually one of the Veroscope team, not myself, who they were watching a rerun of the trial and they said, look at this. I think I found it. Because without linguistic evidence proving that Brian Walsh murdered Anna, there is little physical evidence to prove anything. And he is saying that he found her already passed away. And what evidence do we have to say that that isn't true? So we have to look at his own language to see what evidence can be found. And I think Brian himself, using the words crime scene, he has admitted the truth. Self-identifies the location as a crime scene. Now, you could argue that chopping up his wife to dispose of the body makes it a crime scene, but I think unconsciously this is before that act in his mind. That's why it's a crime scene. But we need to consider both options. So, not used. Accident scene, death scene, my home, the house where she died. He uses law enforcement terminology of crime scene. So the forensic significance, conscious awareness that this is a crime scene, legal consciousness revealed through vocabulary selection, not questioning whether it's a crime scene, that status is accepted. Do you see? The compound adjective structure, crime scene used as an adjective modifying the clothes, reveals clothes are definitionally crime scene items. Their identity is evidence. Definitionally. What a difficult word that is. Clothes. The generic term. Lacks ownership markers. Not used my clothes, her clothes, the clothes, these clothes, Anna's clothes. Just clothes. He's completely distancing from Anna. She's never mentioned. Absence of possessive pronouns, distancing, avoids connecting the clothes to any person, creates linguistic separation from the items requiring disposal. Then we have or, binary choice marker, presents exactly two options. It eliminates middle ground or alternative solutions. The decision matrix has narrowed to two choices. No consideration of keep them, call police, leave them, preserve them, document them. No, he's moved straight into the two options. Wash, requiring effort, time, tools, etc. Not used clean, rinse, sanitize. Forensic significance. Wash suggests hope of restoration to a usable state, indicates potential future use if cleaning is successful, i.e. the missing clothes could have been a problem, couldn't they? Them. Plural pronoun with question mark. Multiple items referenced, not a single item. Quantity suggests extensive contamination contact. Question mark indicates genuine uncertainty about method, not about whether to conceal. So part two, the major deductions. So it's an interesting Veroscope analysis today because we're just concentrating on this single sentence, these very few words. So we're going into deep detail and possibly find the evidence which leans towards Brian Walsh having murdered his wife. So using Veroscope, we have 12 consciousness of guilt markers. Deduction 1, the priority disorder. The expected, and he's claiming he's in a panic and in crisis. So in a panic and in crisis, having just discovered the body, perhaps you might be Googling what happens if you discover a body, or will I be accused if I... There was none of that. It's straight into criminal thinking. So let's go through that in detail. There's nothing to do with life or safety or resuscitation or how she died. No Googling about any of that. No Googling about I found my wife dead, what do I do? Or She's dead. There doesn't appear to be any causes. Can this happen? Nothing. Straight to disposal. Straight to criminality. No help. Brian Walsh's search prioritizes optimization with better, evidence concealment, both options hide the clothes, effectiveness comparison, which method works better, and self-protection. His priority is avoiding detection. What's absent? All of this, what we've just spoken about. The forensic conclusion. Priority hierarchy reveals consciousness in post-crisis optimization mode, not crisis and panic response. This is someone managing aftermath, not experiencing crisis. The no help seeking. Expected in the genuine crisis, what should I do? Is help coming, etc. How can this happen? Will I be in trouble if... What should I say to the police if I've discovered my wife dead? None of that. Critical understanding. Crisis, uncertainty, and questions. The search is a question, but it seeks optimization, not help. It seeks method, not permission. The decision has already been made. These are searches for optimization and method help, not the other type of help that we were discussing. Didn't search for what we might normally think would be the natural reaction of somebody not involved in the murder, but having discovered your wife dead. Would you immediately go on Google searches to how to dispose of the body and which chemicals to use? And should you throw away or wash the crime scene clothes, or whatever the exact phrase was? What he actually searched is which concealment method is more effective. This is a strategic question, not help seeking. Concealment is decided. He's only seeking the optimization method. We have a passive structure. Is it better to not use should I throw away? So we have some passivity in the sentence compared to innocent phrasing. Should I call the police about the bloody clothes, etc. The passive structure creates psychological distance, impersonal framing, removal of the actor, academic tone. This is language of solving an academic problem, not experiencing emotional crisis. So again and again and again, we point towards no panic, no crisis, but instead cold planning. Them in the sentence reveals quantity and reclassification. There's no possessive marker. Multiple garments requiring disposal decision, a significant quantity requiring them, enough to present the disposal challenge, but no ownership connection. My wife's clothes, her clothes. We don't know whose clothes they are, although we can deduce. But the point being, we have a psychological reclassification. Items have been transformed in his mind from personal effects and clothing to crime scene evidence requiring management. Again, he's distancing from Anna. Her clothes have become crime scene evidence requiring management. Crime scene as the compound adjective. The phrase crime scene clothes uses crime scene as a compound adjective modifying the clothes. This means the crime scene status is inherent property of the clothes. Clothes from a crime scene. Sorry, not clothes from a crime scene, but crime scene clothes. Their identity is crime scene evidence. Do you see the difference? So we're going quite deep now. Forensic conclusion. We have a permanent classification. These are fundamentally crime scene items. This classification is accepted and internalized by the speaker. These are crime scene clothes. But then we have a 7.5-hour time gap. At 4:52 a.m., he Googles best ways to dispose of a body. And the same forensic team and police officers should have investigated Jen McCabe's phone, shouldn't they? When she Googled at 2:30 something a.m., Hoss long to die in the cold. Will they both be eventually convicted by their Google searches, I wonder, if Jen is ever arrested and charged for the murder of John O'Keefe? Although Jen McCabe wasn't involved in the physical violence of the murder, there are many that, from the evidence, see that she is a bit of a ringmaster in the organisation and cover-up after the crime. So will Brian Walsh's Google searches be the evidence that convicts him? And if Jen is arrested along with the other House defendants, will her Google search be what eventually convinces a jury of their guilt? Time will tell. At 12:21 p.m., is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them? But this is the point. 7 hours and 7.5 hours have passed. Body disposal implementation. So the body disposal is occurring. Scene examination, clothes accumulation, growing awareness of contamination extend. So I think the body has been dealt with in the way that it was dealt with. And then we have, is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them? Is that what happened? The clothes problem emerged after body disposal. So the clothes are of secondary concern. The problem was not anticipated because we have this 7.5-hour gap between the searches. The situation was more complex than initial planning. Multiple items accumulated during the disposal process, and the decision required further research. Is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them? So does he mean the murder crime scene when he killed Anna? Or does he mean the crime scene of disposing of her body and the crime scene clothes? Interesting argument. My personal gut feeling is that his unconscious mind views the whole thing as a crime scene because of a consciousness of guilt. So, binary elimination of all innocent options. There was no consideration of any innocent option. The only consideration were the criminal options of throw away and wash. His consciousness eliminated all innocent options and narrowed to 2 criminal options. Proper procedure wasn't rejected, it was never in his decision matrix. This reveals someone who only seals concealment options. This is not someone who chose concealment over proper procedure. This is someone operating entirely within the criminal framework, with no awareness of proper procedure. Proper options weren't rejected. They were never considered at all. Look at his Google searches. No options, no help, no inquiry as to how she might have died, no inquiry about sudden death syndrome. Will you be suspected? Nothing. Do you see? Deduction 8. Better. Optimization, not morality. Not used, safer, smarter, right, legal, proper, etc. He used better. And the better assumes both options are acceptable, just one is better. Both options are comparable, can be judged on the same scale. And quality is the criterion, not legality nor morality. And effectiveness is the metric. Which one works better? So better reveals consciousness with no moral, legal, or procedural hesitation about concealment, only seeking to optimize which concealment method produces the better quality outcome. And then deduction 9, we have, by using Google, that anonymous criminal expertise, he didn't ask anyone else, did he? And then we have, the question is the answer. The existence of this search at this time answers, did he dispose of the body? Yes, and the clothes are contaminated even further than they would have been. Was contamination anticipated? No. The research on the clothes happened 7.5 hours later. How extensive, significant, multiple items, disposal is challenging. Mental state is analytical and problem solving, not panic. He's trying to sell us in the trial that this is panic and overwhelm, but we're not seeing this in the language. And if you haven't seen the previous 2 analyses that we've done of Brian Walsh, they're in the playlist. So do have a look at the playlist. As are many of the Karen Reed analysis from that trial. Did he consider calling police? No. Understanding the situation, the crime scene with evidence requiring concealment. So he understands this. And his priorities are evidence optimization. But look at his relationship to Anna. He's fully detached. No pronouns, no emotion, doesn't mention her. She's gone. Linguistic impossibilities. This question cannot be asked by someone who just discovered unexpected death. Why? Crime scene awareness plus binary criminal choice plus optimization seeking with the time passage and the processing and the decision making beyond immediate discovery. This is not someone who has just discovered their wife, who has died due to this unexpected death syndrome, where you would be Googling all sorts of things about, my wife has no symptoms, she's dead, what do I do? Not what we saw in his actual Google searches about the bleach and the crime scene, etc. This question cannot exist without prior body disposal. Clothes are the secondary problem. He's already decided what to do with the body. You wouldn't think, now what shall I do with the clothes, and then think about the body. This question cannot exist alongside innocent consciousness. Innocent consciousness is help-seeking framework. This question is a concealment optimization framework. We have impossibility 4. This question cannot be asked in a genuine panic state. Panic is immediate reaction, authority seeking. This question is analytical comparison, research-based decision making. The 2 mental states do not coexist. Impossibility 5. This question cannot exist if clothes are his wife's personal effects in his mind. Crime scene clothes is an evidence category. Wife's clothes, her things, personal effects category. He's distancing and recategorizing his wife's clothes. So deduction 12, forensic sophistication. This question only exists if he knows the clothes can be tested for DNA. DNA can link the person to the crime. Washing affects DNA preservation. Disposal prevents testing, found items equals evidence, possession is a link to the crime, each method has pros and cons, authorities will look for the clothes, hence his fear, and method choice affects detection. Forensic conclusion. This level of sophistication reveals prior research, media consumption, true crime shows, forensic documentaries. In fact, he Googled one of the serial killers. In the past video, we covered some of that. Deliberate planning suggesting premeditation and criminal consciousness. Thinks like an investigator would think. Countering investigation in advance. That's what this question is about, isn't it? It's counter-investigation. This is not panic. The comparative analysis. What an innocent person would search. What to do if someone dies at home. How to call the police for unexpected death. Will I be blamed? My wife died suddenly. What can I do? Absolutely none of this. All the linguistic markers of innocence and a genuine shock, panic discovery are all absent. What this search reveals instead is optimization language, binary criminal choice, crime scene identification at his unconscious level, evidence consciousness, a concealment framework, detached language from Ana. This is important. Absolute detachment. And that happens in guilt. Comparative analysis seeking and assumption of action, not seeking permission or guidance. This was a fait accompli. Part 4, the behavioral outcome. The irony. Search question. Is it better to throw away or wash? Actual behavior, threw away. Items recovered in the trash bags. Hunter boots, Ana's. Black jacket with reddish brown stains. Slippers with blood. DNA, both Ana's and Brian's. A suit, Ana and Brian. Hacksaw, cleaning agents. Forensic significance. Despite researching washing, he chose disposal. The research was genuine decision making, not theoretical. So it actually happened after the research. Washing ultimately is rejected as insufficient, and disposal is chosen despite the research. The behavior confirms the search was operational, not curious. Best ways to dispose of a body, which is the primary problem, and this is the timeline of the searches at 4:52. Best ways to dispose of a body. And 12:18, want to get away with murder, use special detergent, from Discover magazine article. 12:21, is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them? Evidence optimization. And then later we saw, how do you use hydrogen peroxide on bloodstains? And how to clean bloodstains with hydrogen peroxide, etc. And we might go through a lot of these different Google searches, the ones which are most telling. But this one is the most telling, which we've gone through so far, isn't it? The crime scene Google search. Cognitive progression, the 7.5-hour gap between disposal research and closed decision suggests body disposal was accepted as necessary solved problem. Then secondary evidence, close, became the focus hours later. The 3-minute gap between the detergent article and the close question shows the article triggered the optimization question. 27-minute decision period before washing tutorial search indicates consider, research, choose, implement. This is not panic. This is not overwhelm. This is crime scene management. And he used the words crime scene. We have consciousness of guilt. Part 6, the synthesis. From this 11-word sentence, we can forensically reconstruct the timeline, the mental state, the prior actions, body disposal complete, the relationship status, he's moving away from the victim, the sophistication level, he's forensically aware, the priority structure, the optimization versus the help seeking, the decision has been made, consciousness type, the criminal framework consciousness. Forensic verdict. The sentence, is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them, contains 10 distinct consciousness of guilt markers and creates a behavioral impossibility. An innocent person discovering unexpected death cannot authentically produce this search because innocent discovery operates within a what do I do framework, while this search operates within a how do I conceal framework. These frameworks are mutually exclusive. This single sentence is a complete confession to knowing death occurred, classifying it as a crime, disposing of the body, managing the evidence, and operating within a concealment framework, and having no intention to contact authorities. The search is linguistically impossible to produce from innocent consciousness experiencing unexpected death discovery. That's my opinion. So that brings us to the end of today's Veroscope analysis. Please do like and comment, and please do subscribe if you haven't already, or even better, the notification bell, and all of those will send a strong signal to the algorithm to share these forensic linguistic analysis with others, and hopefully we'll build a larger community and perhaps we'll see justice for others. Okay, look forward to chat with you in the comments.